Hello and welcome to the Flicksters, the place where two movie geeks bring you all the movie reviews, news and gossip you could ever wish for. You can find our podcast on Spotify, iTunes and Google Play. You can also find us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. See you there. Every day we're shuffling.
Yeah, got your singing voice on there, Deval.
Yep.
Yeah, shuffling your papers there.
Every day we're shuffling. Hello, and welcome to the news at 10.
As you can see, Deval having a great time doing this. Deval, can I just say one thing? It's absolutely baking here.
It is baking. Have we started yet?
We've started.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we've started. Like, literally, it's just been like 10 seconds and I'm already sweating. Like...
Trust me, I'm wet. I can sweat underwater. So for me, it's dangerous.
I mean, when was the last time that you've ever seen had a summer like this before?
They talk about that summer of 78 or something, or 73. I mean, I wasn't there, but I keep hearing about that summer. Maybe this is the one.
Oh my God. Summer of Sam, forget about it. This is the summer of of London 2018. And by the way, I just got to say one thing. It's coming home.
It's coming home, yeah? It's coming home.
Yesterday, obviously, when we put this episode out, it's England... It would have probably been a week since England had won the match. Okay. Oh, actually, by the time...
They might have won the World Cup.
They might have, actually. So England might have won the World Cup. So, because this episode will go out on a Friday, I think. Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
So, and England plays on Wednesday.
Okay. So they might be in the final by then.
So this is a good luck for Wednesday, but this will be for Friday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday.
Future, past, present,
exactly.
Time travel,
Anyway, look, I've rambled on enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for downloading today's episode. It's your host, Amar and Deval here, bringing you the latest news, film reviews, gems, anniversary corner, you name it, banter. We've got it all here for you. So sit back, relax, enjoy it, open your windows, take your clothes off and chill out. So, Deval, I want to start off with actually a bit of a sad note here. I know, so I just thought let's get the sadness out of the way. Now, we tweeted this last night. Steve Ditko, co-creator of Marvel comic book characters such as Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, passed away. Yeah, sad news.
Legend. He's done so much for the Marvel and comics industry, and it's just sad to hear.
And one of the things that I didn't realize is he created a lot of DC characters as well.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize, but a lot of the people that we think of as Marvel, they've often gone across to DC, gone to Image, gone to different comic houses and created for them as well. Jack Kirby, massive, he done that as well.
Wow. So I mean, obviously, you know a bit more than me about this, but obviously the two big characters that Ditko created, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Correct.
And the reason why, obviously, we know about those characters is not only are they really popular, but there's been films, made on them.
Yeah.
So one thing that caught my attention was and when I was doing a bit of research on him, he sounded like a person who kept himself to himself.
Yeah, a bit of an introvert, but I think that came across though in his illustrations and his creations. Because some people say, people that maybe are a bit, less quiet and a bit, chilled out and a bit more introverted, their imaginations just go, wild.
Oh my!
And that's why we saw a lot of the psychedelic type illustrations of the Doctor Strange going into those crazy worlds, into the quantum zone, and it all comes out. So wow.
It's amazing. Sorry. It's a real sad loss for the comic book world, and I think I'm not sure if he was still creating, but I mean it's the fact that we want to pay homage to someone who brought so much joy to millions of people around the world. So so rest in peace, Steve Ditko. So other film news that we've got on the show notes. Just going through this. Tell us about Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, snakes on a plane. I've had it with his mother. Snakes on his plane. But so as we all know, some people may not know, but if you don't know, you're about to know. But Samuel L. Jackson will co-star in the upcoming Captain Marvel film, which is due to release in February.
Not long.
2019, not long at all, no. And this film will be set in the 90s. But obviously, how's that going to happen? How are we going to go back in time and have him in a film where he's meant to be younger? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So he will be digitally de-aged.
Wow.
Similarly to the technology they've used in a few films. I mean, they've used it in
Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button, yes, they used it in that, both ways, up-aged and down-aged, if that is a term. But they used it in Star Wars. Was it the Last Jedi, or which one was it? With that guy was in it, and they used someone else's face to, I guess, bring him to life. But that's a bit different. But also in Captain America: Civil War, when Tony Stark was, talking to the auditorium of students, and there was a scene where he was younger by about 20 years,
and he really did look young.
Yeah, so they're going to use that technology to de-age Samuel L. Jackson till, I don't know, probably 30 years or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see. Also, he's going to have two eyes, because I think this is when he's got both eyes.
Yeah, and I'm assuming in the film, by the end of the film, he'll have the eye. He won't have the eye, right?
I think so, because there's a scene in Captain America Part 2, Winter Soldier, where he's talking to, I can't remember his name now, one of the baddies.
Yeah.
The guy that was in Demi Moore film, where he tried to tempt her with £1 million for that night. Robert Redford, yeah. There's a scene where I was talking to Robert Redford, and he says, the last time I trusted a guy, I lost my eye.
So actually, Robert Redford, like a younger version of Robert Redford might turn up.
Yeah,
okay, so that could be something. Okay, so and tell us what other Marvel connected news you've got there.
Yeah, so Avengers 4. So we've all seen, I hope you've all seen, Avengers Infinity War, which is part 3 of the Avengers chronology. So part 4. I think there's been some sort of mistake here, or something's happened here, but obviously Marvel are very hush about their titles and what's happening in the next films, because it's got to be a surprise, but something leaked out recently. So the DOP, or the director of photography, or some people call them cinematographers, they're the people on set who handle the camera, deal with the lighting. Literally they're in charge of your visual experience.
Yeah.
And this person by the name of Trent Opatuk, while he was renewing his CV or resume, he put on there that he's worked on these films. He's worked on Infinity War, and he's worked on Infinity War Endgame. So
now, my question is this: is like, because Marvel, they don't do anything. There's a purpose to everything that Marvel does.
Yeah.
So is this? I don't know. Did they purposely put this out there? Did they let it happen?
I think personally, my sources tell me that, okay, so this actually happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it was something that Marvel had any control over.
Right.
It was the DOP cinematographer literally looking out for himself, trying to get a new job. And I think it could have been a working title.
Right.
Because during the filming stage of Avengers Part 4, a few leaks had come out about different titles.
Right.
There was an interview that Zoe Saldana did, where she mentioned she's finished filming her scenes for Infinity War, and then she had to go back on set to finish Gauntlet, and it's almost like that may have been a working title, and now we're hearing it's called Endgame. There's a scene in Infinity War where after Doctor Strange gives the time gem to Thanos, he says, "We're in the end game now." So it's like, it could be.
My God. Mind blown here.
But just a note that
is wicked.
After this leak came out, he changed his resume. So he took off the word Endgame and put down Avengers 4.
So he was told.
He was told.
Kevin rang him up and said,
yes,
what the
he was told.
bleep?
So it could be true, because they've denied it. Marvel, Kevin Feige has denied it.
Yeah.
But it could be true. It could be called Avengers Endgame, or it could have been just a working title that they had.
Yeah.
Just in case any leaks came out, then people wouldn't have the truth. You know?
Exactly. So. And this thing about titles, because a couple of weeks ago, or maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, actually, Tom Holland, the same thing happened. Now, I don't know if this was meant to happen or if it was just a mistake, but clearly he was somewhere, he was at Comic-Con, behind the scenes at Comic-Con, he had an iPad, and he said, "Hey everyone, just a little sneak peek. I've got the script for Spider-Man Part 2, his Spider-Man Part 2, and I've got it in my hand." And then a lot of people they paused it, zoomed in, and it was Spider-Man to It's a Long Way From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home or something.
Far From Home.
That was allowed.
That's a legitimate.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
so
that
we
was
know
all
that.
Proper. It was that he was sent that image. It wasn't just made. He was sent it, and he was allowed to show that. I think because Tom Holland is known to be a guy that sort of leaks stuff.
Yeah, big time. And Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, they're a bit loose. They're a bit loose. So,
leakers, those ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so the end game, and you know what? I totally forgot about that line.
Yeah.
So it does make sense about that one. So I'm super excited about that.
I think it could be. It could be that.
And brilliant. I mean, if that happens, that's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
So tell us about DC.
Yeah, so DC, as we know, DC, they've been falling behind, recently, and Marvel's up there. DC trying to catch up.
Which is a bit sad, actually.
It's a bit sad. DC are a very, very, very well-respected organisation. Comics from before Marvel. They had Batman, Superman from the 30s. So, but good news, DC's Birds of Prey movie is in the works, and it will hopefully be released probably next year or 2020, somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
But this will have an interesting cast. It's going to have what's her name, Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Harley Quinn, because she was very popular in Suicide Squad, one of the most, I guess, popular and favourite characters.
Sure. So I'm assuming Margot Robbie's going to be...
Of course, no one else. Yeah, Margot Robbie, she done really well. Like she's so diverse, her facial expressions, she's just crazy. Yeah. So Margot Robbie will reprise the role of Harley Quinn. We'll have Barbara Gordon, who's the daughter of...
Commissioner Gordon's daughter, yeah.
Exactly, yep. And Black Canary, who is in Arrow, the TV show of the DC TV shows Arrow. Yeah. Black Canary. We're going to have Catwoman, I understand. Huntress, Misfit. So, as you can see, Birds of Prey. I know the title could be a bit sexist. Who knows? I mean, here in the UK, we call some guys call girls birds, women birds. But I think it's got a different connotation to it with this title.
You know what? I mean, sorry if this is like really negative, but this kind of smacks of DC playing catch up to Marvel.
Yeah.
Because obviously Kevin Feige, he came out and he was like, look, we're going to have a new roster of films. We want strong female characters to come out, and we are going to get, films made. And now DC have kind of announced it. So it just kind of feels like...
They're going all out. I mean, obviously DC did have Wonder Woman, which done really, really well, 2017. I mean, personally, I was a bit like, I didn't really fancy the whole film. Elements of it was really good, but I think now, even like we reviewed Ocean's 8 a week or so ago, and this is like the Ocean's 8 of comic books. Literally a totally, 100% pretty much female lead cast, and should be interesting to see how this pans out actually.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So there's another bit of news I know you want to mention, which is related to the DC universe, but this time on the small screen. Yeah,
it is. DC are, I think, focusing on small screen and streaming services, and the latter is going to be the DC Universe streaming service, which will be released later this year. Not got a specific date on it yet, but they're saying maybe September, October maybe. But the DC streaming service is going to be great. From what I understand, it's going to be really, really good. Yeah, so literally everything and anything DC will be there. It's your one-stop shop to everything DC. So we're talking, the original Superman movie from the 70s. We're talking the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah. We're talking the recent, Batman, Superman, Justice League, all of that. We're talking comic books.
Wow.
Animation. DC is really good with the animation. Yeah. So the Batman, the original, the animation, the animation will be on there.
Yeah.
Teen Titans. Everything DC is going to be all in one place, and also going to launch the upcoming live Titans show as well, which I heard is going to be really good.
And that is just really going to be this exclusive on their streaming service.
So you can't get it anywhere else. So they're trying to Netflixify the whole DC experience. But I heard the Titans show is going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be heavy. Like you're talking fight scenes similar to. Remember Batman, Superman?
Yeah.
When the Batman was in the warehouse.
Yes.
We're talking fight scenes like that. Like people are going to get.
If it's like that, I'm invested.
We're talking people are going to get blown up and bones broken. It's not going to be like how the Flash is and stuff. It's good, but it's quite light.
Yeah.
Nah.
And just talking of that, there was a lot of backlash about Batman killing.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's portrayal.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you something? I loved it.
Me too.
I loved the fact that he didn't give a shit and he was just like, and you were just like,
he's meant to be the Dark Knight,
exactly,
not the Light Knight.
And then what happened for Justice League? They did make him lighter.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of tonally, which it was just kind of a bit off. So if they could have more of the dark stuff, I'm in there. I'm in there. Brilliant.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Just before you move on to other kind of non-comic related stuff, there's one thing that I did want to mention. I read about just the other day was Nicolas Cage is going to be Spider-Man.
No. I'm not having that. I'm not having it.
Wait for it. He is the new Spider-Man in the animation.
Still, I'm not having it. No, I'm not having it.
It's called Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's coming out this year.
Yeah, it's Nick Cage.
He's going to be an older version, like one of the multiverse versions.
Yeah. So it's. I think they're going to be, because they're expanding it to such a kind of huge level. He could be like an alternate version of it, or I don't know how they're going to do it. But when I heard this, I was like, "What? Nicolas Cage?" And he always wanted to have something to do with comic books.
Yeah, he did Ghost Rider, didn't he?
Ghost Rider, Kick-Ass, which is based on a comic book. But also, even before that, he screen tested
Superman.
For Superman.
Have you seen the pictures?
Oh gosh, it's so funny.
When I see those pictures, I'm like,
with the long hair and everything. So, ladies and gents, if you haven't seen this, just type in Nicolas Cage Spider-Man into Google or whatever. Other search engines are available. Just have a look and have a look at those pictures. You're going to crack up. It's so funny.
It's.
But he is a huge comic book fan, and apparently in his collection he's got like issue ones of a lot of the old, which are worth a lot of money. So
you should have sold that instead of going bankrupt.
Well, exactly. Okay, so what else have we got in our movie news?
Yeah, so we got Fast and Furious spin-off. Why are you laughing?
This franchise, it just kind of keeps going on and on.
I don't know.
What is? So now they're going to have a spin-off.
Yeah. I think Jason Statham's going to be heavily involved in that one.
But hang on, I thought he was the villain
in Fast and Furious. But didn't he turn like friendly a bit at the end or something?
You know what? I've missed one.
Yeah, I swear like he turned friendly or something near it. But yeah, I think he's going to be involved in the spin-off from what I understand. Obviously, I think some of the other cast as well. Not all of them, but I think maybe a couple of the other cast. But
like The Rock, he's not part of it, is he?
Do you know what? He might be,
Or, executive producer or something.
Yeah, he'll get in there, Yeah. But yeah, so Idris Elba has been cast as one of the villains.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
So we're not really used to seeing him as a villain.
No, I mean,
we saw him in Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yep,
and
that was one.
He was a villain.
And what did we see him?
Star Trek Beyond. Sorry, that's the one.
Yeah, and what did we see him in recently was Thor.
Yeah. So.
Avengers.
Yeah. So, but he's a good guy. But so we'll see what he's like.
What he's going to be like there
as a baddie. See if that can get pulled. If he can pull it off.
Yeah, you've mentioned something here about Sopranos, and my ear. When I read this, my ears pricked up. So tell us about Sopranos.
Sopranos, yeah. So Sopranos, a very, very, very popular TV show from, I don't know if I can say back in the day. Is it that old? Would you say it's that old, really?
Probably not, but I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But they are looking to, they are in the production phase of a prequel.
Wow.
Yep, a prequel. And I don't know how that's going to... Well, I guess, because you can always... A prequel, there's always space for a prequel when, a massive show has ended, because you can sort of tell the backstory to maybe how they got to where they got to. And but yeah, they're going to... they've casted the director of Thor: The Dark World.
Remind me again?
Alan Taylor, his name is.
Okay.
But he was also very popular before that in directing a few episodes of Game of Thrones.
I see.
So yeah, he's got credits on other shows and films, but they're the two that people will probably remember.
Know him of, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's interesting to see how that will turn out. Yeah, Sopranos.
Okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah, let's keep an eye on that one. And tell us about this one. It mentioned a Halo. Now, I've got to tell you, I was a huge Halo fan because I bought the original Xbox.
Wow.
And this thing was massive.
Like a fridge, wasn't it?
You know what? I remember... It was probably the first time that I've done this. I lined up to the local game store back in 90. I can't remember what it was, like about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I did that for the first time, and I remember hulking this thing back home. And seriously, I was so excited. And to play Halo, I tell you what, it was a really good game. So tell us about Halo.
Yeah, Halo, massive Microsoft property, massive game. Like you said, multiplayer, the guns, the worlds, and the factions and the clans and the politics behind all the game. So a 10 episode Steven Spielberg produced blockbuster is in the works.
That's going to be
so we're talking.
wicked.
So it's obviously in the pre-production stage at the moment. I think they're going to start filming towards the probably early 2019, I would think.
Okay.
Start filming for that. And from what I've heard, that there's not been any major casting announcements yet, but I've seen a few images of Dave Bautista in
as Captain Master Chief.
As what? Yeah, exactly. And he looks the part. Like literally, I swear they've taken him out of the game.
You know what? Now that you mentioned him, right, he would be a perfect fit as Master Chief because the Master Chief character, like deep voice, gruff, hulking figure.
Yeah,
that's Dave Bautista.
That is him. Literally, he is the character.
Doesn't have to say much.
Yeah.
I say this in such a nice way because when Dave Bautista does speak, he's actually really funny. All the stuff that I've seen him in, he's actually a really good actor.
Exactly. So
this is going to be really good. Yeah, so great casting decision actually.
I hope it does go ahead. I hope it does. But
and also I noticed here Sky Atlantic.
Yeah, so it's going to be a Showtime show, which I think that's more applicable to the American audiences. But Sky Atlantic and Sky in general have a affiliation with Showtime. And here in the UK, it'll be screened on Sky Atlantic.
Yeah,
wow. So I've got that channel, so I'm happy.
Looks like I'll be coming to yours then.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. No, thanks for that, Deval. Great pieces of news over there. I thought we can now move on to the box office top 10, and there are a few in there which I'm really surprised about, and we'll kind of go through those. But sitting at number 10 is Solo, a Star Wars story.
Solo. Solo.
It was, what was it? It was second. Was it second last week or second or third?
I think it was third or maybe even fourth. I don't know.
Look at how much it's dropped.
Yeah. It's on its way out.
That's it. It's on its last legs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think do people have the stomach for any more? Because based on the ticket sales of Solo, I think they've put on hold. I don't know if you remember, we mentioned about Obi-Wan Kenobi and about they had like another 3 movies planned.
Yeah, Boba Fett and
all that.
Yeah.
I think it's all on hold at the moment because of the poor box office receipts for Solo, Star Wars. Story.
Well, it was plagued with pre-production troubles, and even during filming it was plagued with troubles. I don't know if that had something to do with it. Who knows the version that we didn't get?
Yeah.
If that version, if that version was made, it could have saved it. Who knows? We don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. So, this is at number 10, and we kind of figured it would be. So, okay, sayonara, Solo. Sitting at number 9 is our favourite Merc with a Mouth is Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I think that's it's on its way out, but it's had good innings, It's had a good time.
Now, I don't know, like, obviously the overall global box office takings. I'm not sure. I'll find out for next week and stuff. But I think it's done good business.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's made its money back and some at this stage. So.
And that's going to be good for us, the fans, because then this means that we get to see X-Force.
Oh, yeah.
We will get to see another Deadpool outing, and we'll get to see Cable coming back in again.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
As long as that happens, I'm really happy. Now, sitting at number 8 is a film called Patrick, which I have not seen. Have you seen Patrick?
Do you know a Patrick? I know a guy who's a good footballer, but I don't know this Patrick.
Okay, so what we need from our audience from our listeners is a 140 character review of Patrick. If you can send that to us, we will love you to bits. Sitting at number 7 is Adrift. And
yeah.
I feel adrift because we haven't seen this one either.
I'm on that little plank of wood with you, drifting off into the sunset.
Again, for our Facebook, people on our Facebook page, if you've got a review of Adrift, please send it in to us. Let us know what you think, and we'd be more than happy to read that out. Good or bad, whatever it is, whatever you say. A film which we have seen, I promise you, is Hereditary, and it's still in there. It's still in the UK box office top 10. I mean, we've mentioned this. Please listen to episode 5.
I think it's 5, yeah.
5, yeah. Download episode 5 or 6 and just have a listen of what we thought about Hereditary. Deval went out and watched it again. I've still yet to see it again, but on first viewing, it kind of got to me and it really stayed in my head. It's a really good film, cracking film. So please go out and watch that. Number 5 is, 100% sure it's a Bollywood film. I haven't seen it. It's called Sanju. And I know for a fact that Deval, you had definitely not seen this film.
Well, actually, I have. And
give us the synopsis on this one, because you gave us one like about a month ago. It's probably going to be the same.
See, Sanju is a character who
needs to find a wife.
Yeah, exactly. And is plagued by the family putting pressure.
Familial pressure. Okay, so look, ladies and gents, on our Facebook, Twitter, whatever page out there, send us your our listeners out in India, come on, there's a billion of you out there, just kind of get in touch with us, let us know what Sanju is about. We'd love you for it. At number 4 is a new entry, and it stars it's an ensemble piece, and it stars Hawkeye.
It does, yeah. Jeremy Renner, yeah.
Jeremy Renner. So when he wasn't making Avengers Infinity War, he was probably making this.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen this, right?
I've seen this, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So this is sitting at number 4, and we'll hear your views on that later on.
Okay.
But a film that I'm really excited to speak about, and which we will speak about, this is in at number 3, which is Sicario 2.
Soldado.
Look, spoken like a true Spanish speaker there. So Sicario 2, Soldado. We'll speak about that later on in the show. That's at number 3, and number 2 is Ocean's 8. Listen to last week's episode to find out what we thought about Ocean's 8. There's really good things in there. Some missteps which I think kind of let the film down. There's a part in the film where James Corden turns up, and funny enough, James Corden plays James Corden.
Yeah.
So tonally it changes a bit. Deval and I, we were a bit unsure. Well, actually, Deval thinks that Danny Ocean is probably still alive because it's an Ocean's film, so maybe he might pop up in a new film. And also, I'm mentioning Ocean's 8, what's his name, Matt Damon, who's now becoming the kind of king of cameos at the moment.
Yeah,
he actually did film a cameo for Ocean's 8.
Did he?
They cut it out.
Oh.
And there's a reason why they cut it out.
He's got balls.
Basically. And I think with the whole, I don't know, I some people are saying, look, tonally, it probably wasn't right for the film, because of obviously some of the comments that he's made recently about the sexual allegations with Harvey Weinstein. He never came out really quick enough to kind of condemn Harvey Weinstein. So there's kind of a bit undertones of why he may not have been in the film. I don't know. I'm maybe speculating here. Maybe I'm just talking bullshit. Let me know. But he did film a cameo, and it was cut out.
Okay.
So now sitting back in at number 1, it's a re-entry at number 1, right? Is it?
Yeah.
It was out of it. Now it's back in again, but it's Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, roaring its head back again. So I'm really surprised about that. I mean, what do you think that could be?
I don't know. I think being a summer blockbuster, the sun's out. A lot of the younger generation have stopped. They finished, college or university or whatever, and this is the sort of film that they would really go and pack into the cinema. It's a date film, maybe popcorn film. So maybe that's why this has had another lease of life.
Okay,
so to speak, it's been brought back from extinction. Do you know why? Because life finds a way.
Clever boy. Sorry, I just had to do that. Okay. So, ladies and gents, that is your box office top 10. Moving on to out this week on Blu-ray, what have we got for us, Dr. Deval?
Well, we have the Red Sparrow.
I did not. I can't believe it. I didn't see this film because I'm into spy thrillers. I'm into kind of the whole clandestine, how people become spies and this whole, underworld of spying. And so take it away. Tell us.
Espionage. I went to the cinema and saw it when it came out a few months ago. Really good film, actually. Really good film. Quite a long film. Got about 2.5 hours, I reckon it was.
Okay.
But Jennifer Lawrence plays a really great character. Quite convincing. We also have the guy whose name always eludes me, but he was in Clash of the Titans and
Avatar. Is it that guy?
Avatar, that guy. His name will come back to me in a second. But he's really
good.
We're
bad with names, by the
way. Sam Worthington. I think is that the guy? No, it's not him. It's the other guy.
Who?
No, it's Joel Edgerton. I was getting too mixed up.
He's Australian as well.
Yes, see, that's why.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I just forget Australian names. Kate Blanchett.
Shit. We got listen to our Australian fans out, listeners. Sorry, we haven't got anything against you. It's just like difficult names.
But no, good film.
Yeah.
The story is of a lady, Jennifer Lawrence's character, who she has a I don't know. There was something happens to her, and then it changes the course of her natural career. She gets an opportunity to work with this government organization, or not even. I don't know if they're government. They're so secret.
Okay.
No one knows about them, but she gets an opportunity to work with them and do some missions for them. But she has to go and train in a place that kind of reminds me of Scarlett Johansson's character, but Black Widow's Red Room.
Okay.
Kind of world where you, as a young person, you're taken there, you train under extreme circumstances. When I say extreme, some of the things that happen in this place are extreme.
Okay,
literally,
or like beating and torturing and stuff.
A different level of it. It's sort of like they mentally try and break you down.
Okay,
and then you have to be strong enough to withstand it. There's a part in her training where a guy has to try and he's got to try and rape her.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's quite physical.
Okay.
And it's part of her training. She just has to go through it.
Yeah.
So but the story is very, very there's ups and downs, there's
twists and turns.
You don't know who to trust. You don't know, sometimes you don't even know if the person that you're seeing is the person that you're supposed to be seeing. It's weird. When you see it, you'll get what I mean. But
okay.
I think Jeremy Irons is in it as well. I think he's in it. But yeah, it's a really good film. It's worth seeing. It's out on DVD, Blu-ray this week, and it's worth a watch.
I mean, I love those kind of espionage films. Is there things in it which we haven't seen before in this genre?
Yes, like I said, with part of her training, I've never seen anything like that before. Usually, when you're in a secret government organisation and you train, you're gonna go, you're gonna shoot a few target practice. You're gonna have psychological evaluation, maybe lie detector, whatever. Nah, this is next level.
I'm going to ask you a tough question now.
Okay.
Who'd win out of a fight with the following? Angelina Jolie from Salt.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson from Avengers, Black Widow.
Yep.
Red Sparrow, Jennifer Lawrence, or Saoirse
Ronan from
Saoirse
Hannah.
Ronan from Hannah.
Okay. Oh my! I don't think Jolie will win. I'll say she's out.
Agent Salt. Okay.
Yeah,
so she's been out.
I think it's and Hannah. I think Hannah could be a I don't know, like a dark horse because she's younger. She could come to your house with like cookies, be like a Girl Scout, and then the second you like go into your purse or your wallet, she'll just snipe you or slit your throat. So she could be the one,
Yeah.
Though I'd say actual fighting ability has got to be Black Widow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a tough one.
we're gonna go for Marvel. Yeah. Okay. It is a tough one though. Okay. So, anything? Is there anything else out?
There's nothing else out noteworthy this week. It's a slow week.
Exactly.
It's a World Cup final week. So who's going to be watching?
It's a World Cup week as well. So it's just like, I think sales of all this stuff is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Apparently, just going off on a bit of tangent, but generally box office receipts are down because of the weather.
Yep.
So that's number one, but also because of the World Cup.
Yep.
So, and you mentioned a couple of weeks ago about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
the release of that being delayed.
Yep.
So it just kind of makes sense now. Okay, so what have we got on streaming and new trailers out?
Yeah, so there's a few new trailers and a few bits and bobs out on streaming services at the moment. Well, the first trailer, I don't know why you're laughing. The first trailer I want to talk about is a film called The Meg.
This is hilarious.
The Meg. So Jason Statham stars in I don't know, it's like a mix between Jaws, Deep Blue Sea,
like Sharknado.
Sharknado. Yeah, it's like it looks like a fun film to me. But The Meg, short for Megalodon, is literally like a
mythical.
Yeah, a shark that's just. It's a shark, isn't it?
Yeah, like
a massive.
But what
massive
I want to
shark.
know is in this movie, how are they going to explain that where this thing comes from?
I think they have to explain it. Yeah,
because come on, where's this plate? Where's this thing been?
I reckon it could be like, you know how like Godzilla is like, you know, radioactive poisoning or whatever,
Yeah.
and like the turtles, you know, radioactive juice has turned the turtles into like humanoids kind of, and it's like this shark has grown to like crazy prehistoric like proportions, and it's now rampant coming back to the humans and trying. Maybe it's got a taste for human flesh.
Oh my god!
So
and Jason Statham is going to save the day.
Yeah, he's going to take the day. Yeah, underwater. Yeah, because you know he used to be an Olympic swimmer. He used to be a swimmer. Yeah,
I did not know that.
That's what he did before acting. He actually competed in like British championships, European championships. He's one of those people that are on that list of sports people that turn into actors, but. He was a diver or swimmer, one of them. I think he was a diver. Yeah,
and obviously when you look at him like in his movies, like Fast and Furious, we've mentioned before. Yeah, Transporter,
Lock, Stock. Yeah,
Lock, Stock as well. I mean, he keeps this guy keeps in shape.
Yeah, Expendables
as well, which I think there's going to be another one of those coming out as well. Okay, so the Meg trailer. Ladies and gents, go check it out. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the Sharknado films and like you like your Jaws films and things like that, you're going to probably love this one as well. Okay, now this one I'm really interested because the name is kind of a bit...
Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy.
Mandy.
Tell us about Mandy.
Mandy. So Mandy is a weird trailer. When I saw it, I was like, what? I tell you, we're laughing, but Mandy, I tell you what it looks like here. Mandy looks like a bit like Hereditary, Mad Max, Evil Dead, and Chainsaw Massacre, all rolled into one.
This is gonna be heavy.
The critics have said it's one of the Nicolas Cage's best performance.
And I think we're due a Nicolas Cage like
best performance.
Yeah, exactly.
So no shouting like he did on Wicker Man. Save me! Save me!
He could be so over the top, right?
I know.
Yeah.
But no, the trailer looks really good. It looks quite dark. It looks quite obscure. Like I said, the mix of the different films that it kind of reminded me of, like Mad Max and Chainsaw and Hereditary. It just looks weird.
Okay.
Lots of different weird costumes, people getting chopped up. It's crazy. So this film does look like a mad horror.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out. You've also got another one on there beginning with the M.
Mile 22. Yeah, Mile 22.
One?
This film looks good, Oi, this film looks good.
And I noticed a name on your show notes.
Yep.
Iko Uwais.
Bad Man.
Bad Man. The Raid.
When I saw this guy's face in the film, I said, "Yeah, they're serious."
I tell you what, I love The Raid, and what surprised me about The Raid was it was directed by a Welsh guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's So tell me about this one,
if you guys ain't seen The Raid, you got to see The Raid first of all. The Raid is a heavy film, low budget. Where was it? Was it not in Thailand? It was in Malaysia or something.
I want to say Indonesia or Malaysia.
Indonesia, you're right. Indonesia, yeah. So great film. It's got to be watched.
Yeah.
But so this film, Mile 22, stars Mark Wahlberg, who also actually co-produces as well. And it's about them trying to get, I think, Iko Uwais' character. He's an important guy for some reason.
Okay.
And they're trying to get him 22 miles away, I think. They're trying to get him from A to B, which I think is 22 miles or something like that.
Okay.
And they've got like some special ops people like Mark Wahlberg, Lauren Cohen, who's in Walking Dead. Yep. Ronda Rousey's in the film.
She's going to kick ass.
Ronda Rousey. John Malkovich in the film as well. So good cast, and it's like from what I saw on the trailer and what you guys will see. Iko Uwais, his karate is on the next level. His karate is quite brutal.
Yeah.
A bit like cage fighting, kind of. He doesn't mess around with too many punches and kicks. He just takes you down as quick as possible.
Yeah.
A bit Krav Maga-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fight scenes, the guns, the explosions, it looks like a good film.
Yeah, totally. And Mark Wahlberg, he's no stranger to kind of action films.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of these films.
I know you're talking about. The film, the M. Night Shyamalan film, The Happening, that one, yeah?
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah, it was a lot of... Do you remember that film? The ending?
I'm joking.
I just can't believe it. It was just like, I was waiting and waiting, and then it just kind of, they stopped.
Yeah.
So, but he's done...
yeah, he's done a lot. Obviously...
The Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter. He's done Transformers more recently. He's done quite a few action films. He done that film with The Rock, didn't he? With the two guns. Is that him?
That was no, wasn't that Denzel?
But Denzel. Okay, is that him and Denzel?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
They played two coppers.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So, yeah,
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain. That's the one.
That was
that's
the one. Yeah. So he's no stranger to action flicks, and obviously he is a great actor. I mean, The Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's Oscar nominated. I think he was for that one.
Damn.
Yeah. So and what else have we got on streaming?
Yeah, this one I didn't hear about until I actually sort of went fishing, but and also just to tie into last week when we spoke about Caliber and hunting for deers. But the legacy of a white tall deer hunter.
I've never heard of this.
Neither have I, but it's a film stars Josh Brolin, Thanos, and Cable, and it's also got Danny McBride.
Oh, okay, Halloween,
yep. And this is on Netflix this week. It is
okay,
and it's about Josh Brolin's character who's separated from his partner or wife, and he's almost turned into almost like a weekend dad type figure. And he's trying to, make sure his connection with his son is strong, and he's more of like a old school kind of tough guy kind of dad. He's got his gun and he's in his pickup truck. He's got his beard and his checkered shirt, along with his hat, and he's always got a Budweiser in his left hand, even though he's driving. So he takes his son out hunting.
Okay.
He wants to introduce his son to the nature and being a man. So so it's a story of him and his son, and I think his friend Danny McBride's character are going hunting, and all the the fun times that they're gonna have, and I think a few things happen. The son's trying to.
But is it do things turn dark, or is it
not
like
from
it's coming of age?
It's kind of coming of age. It's kind of like family connection, but I've not seen any sort of craziness in the trailer, like nothing turned dark, but I'm sure something will happen. Yeah, but it's it seems like an interesting film, a bit quirky, and it's on Netflix at the moment.
Almost like, is it? Do you think it could be like Hunt for the Wilder People?
I kind of know where you're going with this. Yeah, not so much that.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, it just seems it's nice to see Josh Brolin doing something a bit more lighter, because so far this year I've only seen him do dark things.
What we've in two big movies, Avengers and Deadpool.
Yeah. He's been working hard.
This guy, and I tell you what, right? I'm not joking. Like when you see him in Deadpool 2, physically, he's like 50 odd years old, right? He's in such great condition. Yeah, this guy. True. I mean, he's a good actor. I like that. And what else? I noticed you've got a couple of more films from Netflix on there. What else?
Yeah, Wind River. I'm not sure. Many guys, this sort of flew under the radar for a lot of people.
Wind River has a connection to Sicario,
which Josh Brolin has a connection to with. Yeah, see connect all the dots.
Exactly. Now I haven't seen Wind River.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a good film.
It's
a really, really, really good film.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And it stars Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye.
Oh, again,
along with Elizabeth Olsen. What's her name again? Scarlet Witch. Yeah, so they're both starring in that as well as Avengers. But yeah, so it's about Jeremy Renner's character is a sheriff type guy in where's the state in America? One of those sort of snowy kind of states in America.
Alaska? No.
Somewhere near Alaska. Okay, you're not far off, but it's not Alaska. Somewhere near Alaska. And there's been some murders. So the sheriff hasn't got the capability and the facilities and the resources to solve it himself. So they get an FBI, I guess FBI help through Elizabeth Olsen's character. She comes in, she tries to assist. She's not really welcomed that much because people don't want outside help, and it just things start to unfold. There's a lot of underlying sort of secrecy going on, and it's a bit mad. But also they've got the relationship between sort of white Americans and then the Native Americans that have a what do they call it? Like a reservation. Yeah, so it's like.
And is that is that what it refers to? The title, Wind River.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
so so there's that relationship as well. So things are there's some tense moments and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like this film was really good. There's some really dark moments in this film. Really dark moments.
Okay.
He's also got John Punisher. I can't never say his surname, but yeah, Punisher's in it as well.
He's always dependable. He's always reliable. He's
very
brilliant.
good. Yeah, very good in this film. But yeah, when I saw this film in the cinema, it actually touched me.
Oh no!
It touched me because some of the scenes and what it leaves you with. There's a few messages and stuff that it leaves you with, and I think one of the bits at the end of the film, it says. I think it was this film. It said that there is no database for missing Native American people in America or something like that. So if someone goes missing, there isn't like a database where their details are kept or something. So it's a bit weird, but yeah, just sort of I was thinking, what's going on with that? So it's just the film's really good, really well done.
That is brilliant. No, I like that. And I wonder. So we mentioned about the connection to Sicario.
Yeah.
I think it was written. The person who wrote Sicario has written this, right?
Yeah. No, written. Yeah.
It's a good one. Good shout out for that one. I'll check that one out. And also, you've got another classic on here.
Say hello to my little friend.
Scarface. I mean, oh my god, it's so weird. Like I get so surprised when I realise that it's only now just on streaming services.
Yeah. It's on there.
So Scarface made in I want to say 83.
35 years. 35 years this year it is, yeah.
Bloody hell. So look, I mean, anniversary corner as well. This is, but this 83 version is kind of like a remake of the 30s version.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, yeah.
There was a 30s version, and I always remember Stone.
Oliver Stone,
because he wrote this. When he wanted to make this movie, he always looked back to the 30s version.
Okay.
And he saw it and he'd be like, yeah, you know what? It's such a great film. It's such a classic film, but it doesn't have the kind of the nastiness,
the grit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and apparently, I mean, whether or not this is true or not, but when he was researching the film, Oliver Stone, he would go on like drugs fueled benders.
Oh wow!
Out in Miami, like cocaine.
So the whole thing. Excuse, yeah.
Yeah, basically the whole thing.
I'm just doing research.
Sniffing away.
Just research. It's cool.
And and apparently he'd see these characters, these real like Tony Montana like people over there, which to me in my head is like shit.
And the greasy lawyer, Sean Penn, was it?
Oh god, yeah, in Carlita's Way.
Oh, that's Carlita's Way. I was getting them mixed up. Yeah,
but it's similar. It's similar as well. So so great great shout out for that one. If you haven't seen Scarface, I mean, go out. I mean, watch it. It's such a classic film.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a hit when it first came out.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't liked.
Which makes you think some of the films that come out now that don't do well in the box office, who knows, in 10 years time, 20 years time, they could be massive hits.
Yeah. The cult following is always happens afterwards.
Exactly.
So, it's brilliant. So, okay. So talking about anniversary and talking about the whole 35 year things, I know you've got brilliant selection of films over here. So tell us what is on the anniversary corner.
Yeah. So we're starting 10 years. So 2008, and a film that, was, on its release, it was shrouded in mystery. Even the title was hidden from the public. The trailer just dropped, and people were like, "What the heck is this?" And we're talking about Cloverfield.
I know.
J.J. Abrams. Yeah.
What an amazing idea.
Yeah, crazy. Literally, just opened up the whole universe. Even now, there's been two.
There was the 10 Cloverfield Lane,
which I think is one of the best.
Which I still haven't seen, by the way.
Oh, great film. Yeah.
And then they've on Netflix. It's the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
And is that a film or is that that's not a show, right? It's a film.
It's a film, yeah.
Okay, and have you seen that one?
Yeah.
And does it all tie in?
It ties in loosely, but it ties in, yeah.
Brilliant.
So, and there's even word of other films being released that somehow tie in.
Wow.
So we'll maybe see that in the future. But yeah,
Okay.
Cloverfield, great film in its time. Some people like it, some people don't. But yeah,
I know a lot of people who hated it.
Yeah, because the camera was a bit too shaky for them.
And
I
it
think
was that whole found footage thing.
Yeah.
But I think the payoff at the end was like, I thought it was a really clever film.
Yeah.
For when it came out.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so that's been 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
You know what? I've got to say, 2008
A lot of films came out, you know.
was a great year for films.
Yeah.
I think.
Iron Man, Dark Knight. I mean, you know, it was all right.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I see it. Keeping it with the football.
The football, yeah, we've got to keep
Tell
it
us about
football.
this one.
We got to. No one bends it like Beckham, you know. So
Bend it like Beckham,
Yeah.
and that's been what? How many years?
15 years,
Oh
2003.
God.
Keira Knightley and I can't remember the other girl's name.
Parminder Nagra.
Parminder Nagra, yes.
And so this basically launched the career of Keira Knightley.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
remember her in anything before this.
Nah, neither do I. This just literally, you're right, it launched her career. I mean, I still see that image of her in that kind of like tank top.
That crop top
And
type
then-
of thing
yeah,
like that, and
and
you see a
then-
midsection like
yeah,
abs
then
and everything
her
like that was
tracksuit
brilliant.
bottoms
I know.
And that, and they
But I
say that she actually trained for this film. And
Yeah,
she,
and I think they trained in a place not far from it, Hounslow.
okay, yeah.
So they trained over there and stuff. So
Yeah.
I remember watching this film in the cinema, and it just came out of nowhere.
Mm.
Like, obviously, you know, it's a football film, so in England people are so passionate about football, but a lot of people just think it's just a guy's game.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you know, women playing football, girls playing football, it's just not really the thing to do.
Mm.
But then you throw in the cultural sensibilities of like an Asian family.
Yeah.
That mixes things up. But then you throw in an Asian
Yeah.
girl.
That's like a no all over the place, isn't it?
It's like, so you're battling so many different, like, you know, cultural stereotypes. You're showing different sides of views, brilliantly acted by, you know, a supporting cast, and, you know, and it done really good business.
Yeah, it did.
And a lot of people
Yeah,
were thinking that
yeah.
it wasn't going to do good business because who was going to watch
Yeah,
this?
I think it more than quadrupled. Quadrupled its, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I think to myself, could they do like a sequel to this?
But
Whether
who
or not
could
it
have bend
works.
it? Who could have bend it like now? Who bends it? Not Cristiano now.
Yeah.
That's I don't know who they'll do it of now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Or it could be still bending it like Beckham.
still bending it, you know.
But the story now takes it. They're in America
Okay.
because
okay.
women's football in America is pretty big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Or as they say, soccer.
Soccer.
So bend it like Beckham. Okay, that's a great shout out. So that's 15 years.
Yeah.
What else have we got in there?
Okay, 20 years, 1998. Godzilla.
God.
Godzilla, if you can't
This
hear what I'm
is-
saying. Godzilla.
But
It's that scene.
the Japanese guy at the
I
beginning.
know, yeah.
And that's how he says it. Yeah.
That's how I think that's how it's meant to be
That's
said.
how
I
it's meant
think.
to be said, yeah, 'cause it's a Japanese creation.
Exactly.
So 1998, and this was Matthew Broderick,
That's right, yeah.
the French guy Jean
Reno from Milk, from Leon.
from Leon, famously. But yeah, as
Also had Hank Azaria, who voices a lot
The
of Simpsons.
cameraman.
Yeah, he voices Simpsons.
he Apu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's in a bit of controversy at the moment with that one. But yeah, so Godzilla, I remember watching this. I remember getting this on DVD as well.
Remember that scene in the trailer where Godzilla's foot like lands on something and like
I remember
the graphics then were good. Keep saying graphics.
Graphics.
The special effects. That's how you know I'm old, you know. The graphics. The special effects were good, you know. 1998. They were good.
And that was 5 years after Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
shit!
Yeah. Yeah, so great film, and then obviously they've made the 2014. They've done the most recent version, directed by
Our friend
Rogue One,
Rogue One, and
Monsters.
and Monsters.
One of your favourite films, actually.
Yeah,
and we're talking and trying to remember his name. Gareth Edwards.
Gareth
There you
Edwards.
go. Thank you. So yes, and that is going to be a world in itself. They're going to have more Godzilla films. I think they're
But
going.
But it's been 4 years. So what's happened with that one?
It's in the works. I think there's been a few knockbacks and so on, but I think because they're trying to create something quite big, they're taking their time. They're trying to create. I think they're going to link it with Godzilla and King Kong or something.
Oh, wow.
Something's going to link. Or you know, it's going to be some big franchise born from that.
And it had your man. What's his name?
Oh, from Breaking Bad.
No. Oh yeah, he was the dad, but who's
Yeah.
the son?
Oh, the Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah. Something Taylor Hall.
Taylor
or something.
Aaron Johnson.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, so he's from Kick-Ass and everything. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
He's really good. So that was Godzilla. Okay.
So next, 1993, 25 years.
Wow.
Cool Runnings. Yep.
So this is based on a true story.
Exactly.
And they've just taken a comedic stance to it, and it's really interesting because it's a really popular film, and a lot of people, they don't realize that it's based on a true story.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
So a bobsleighing, a Jamaican bobsleighing team.
Yeah.
Like, how does it even happen? And also John Candy
Yeah.
plays the coach and everything
Yeah.
like that. So I remember when I can't remember if I saw this in cinema. Probably not. I don't think I did see it in cinema. But I mean, I remember watching it later on, like on TV or DVD or something like that. And I just found it. I mean, I love John Candy. He was like really, really good. So the whole story, them in the bobsleigh, shivering them, shivering and stuff like that. I just thought it was really good. So that's what, 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. Time flies.
Okay, and what else have we got on there?
Yeah, so 1988, 30 years. We're going back now. So it's Beetlejuice. Is it Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice. He's supposed to say it 3 times.
Home.
Yeah. Beetlejuice. So yeah, Michael Keaton. Oh, this film. When I first saw this film, I was quite young, but there were bits that were kind of scary, but it was funny at the same time.
Because it was dark.
Exactly.
The bit where they go into his actual the miniature creation thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, but again, the makeup was really good. Even now when you watch it, the film does stand up.
Because this was Batman, the first Batman, the Tim Burton Batman was made
a year later, 89.
Sorry, 89. So this was before that.
Yeah. So how do you cast Batman after seeing Beetlejuice? That's how you know the guy's diverse. Michael Keaton's diverse.
Exactly. And Tim Burton, he's got that mind.
Guy,
he's a legend. He's really great. But watching this film, and I saw it recently about 2 years ago, and I love it. It's just so dark. It's so funny. Winona Ryder's in it. What's his name? The one with the glasses.
Oh, his name. I know you're talking about, but his name eludes me.
He's famous. This guy he's got famous brothers.
Alec Baldwin.
Is it
Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Alec Baldwin, looking really slim.
Yeah, and Kim Bassett.
No, it's not Kim Basinger.
Who is it then? Gordon Bennett.
But but I should know this because I'm normally good with this sort of shit. But okay, yeah. So she was in The Fly.
Andy McDowell.
No, with Jeff Goldblum. She was in The Fly. Bollocks.
Okay, so it's going to come to us.
It's going to come to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Great
Beetlejuice.
Film,
I remember watching this film, and it's funny when it's when it's supposed to be funny. It's dark when it's supposed to be dark. I mean, who comes up with this idea? It's just like there's talk of death in there.
Yeah.
What happens to you in the afterlife? Yeah. Can you still have a life after that? Yeah. And a lot of these themes that Tim Burton shows us in the film, they come up in his other films as well, like in Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
The A Night Before Christmas and things like that. So it's a really good film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Where have you been, Gina? Bloody hell.
Also, in Beetlejuice, there's that bit on the dinner table when they have that song.
Daylight come.
Yeah, that was wicked. That was wicked.
Absolutely brilliant.
That was wicked.
Gina Davis, there's a film, I'm not sure if you remember this, but Gina Davis acted with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah, Long Kiss Goodnight, heavy film. Yeah.
Rennie Harlin, who directed one of the Die Hard films, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Beetlejuice, and last but not least...
Last one, so 35 years, 1983.
This is bad.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, Return of the Jedi. 35 years ago. So
this is crazy. And this film it still holds up really well.
It does, it still does. When he came back a bit older, he was all it was all just sort of like
with the cloak.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mysterious.
Just loved the whole confident mystery behind the Jedi. So and now when I think back now, I think, oh shit, he's not in him. He's not physically he's not going to be in the films because
as a Jedi, physically that's just one part of your form, but you live on. I guess you'd be like a hologram, like Yoda all the time, and just speak like a tunnel in a supermarket. Clean up on aisle 4. Clean up on aisle 4, young Padawan.
That could be a good film.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, one thing, right? Wouldn't this be a great idea? All right, check this out, right? So you've got obviously Star Wars, you've got the Jedis, you've got the whole Force. But what if you transported all of that into modern day, like Earth, like 2018, and you've got Jedis who don't know they're Jedis, but the power awakens. And you might have someone working in Tesco, and who one day is just like feels the Force. That would be like. Devout, write that.
It's written.
Write that short film first.
It's written.
Write that, okay? And that reminds me, do you remember the short film that Josh Trank made on YouTube?
No.
The director of...
Fantastic Four 2 and the one where they're moving things around with their mind or whatever it is.
How, do you know how he got... Tell me how he got that gig. Tell me you've seen the short film.
No, I haven't.
Bro,
what short film is this?
Bro, it's on YouTube. Right? Okay, so Josh Trank, he's working out in LA. He needs to make, he's working as an editor. He needed to make a name for himself because he wanted to become a film director. He says, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. YouTube's built, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to put a movie out there. So the setup is this. Kids, they're at a party. They're drinking, they're playing games. One starts pushing another person, and they're like, yeah, look, fuck you, fuck this. Like, come outside, let's go have a fight. They go outside, they pull out lightsabers.
Oh, is it?
And they start fighting each other, and then boom, it stops.
Oh, no, I ain't seen that.
Based on that, he got fucking, not Project...
I know the film with Michael B. Jordan when they're moving things around. Yeah. Oh,
but they go into the cave, and that's how his career started.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, it's so simple. Because you're thinking, where's this
but I guess
going?
The execution must have been right, and the production value and all of that.
Exactly. And like you think, there's just going to be kids just go out and fight, but they start pulling out the lightsabers.
Chronicle, that's a film. Chronicle. Yeah.
So the implication is that in modern day Earth, we've got Jedis, people with lightsabers fighting amongst us.
Imagine one like in Subway, like cutting your 12-inch to a 6-inch, and like,
let me just get my lightsaber out and
cheese melted. Pull it on a lightsaber. Take a second rather than putting it in that grill thingy.
That'd be amazing. Okay, so thanks for those films, Deval. Anniversary Corner. I always love talking about anniversary films because it just kind of we always come up with some good stuff. Yeah. All right, so now we're moving on to today's reviews, and shall we go? Let's go with Tag first.
Okay, let's go with Tag.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I never saw this film, so you're gonna have to fill in the gaps for me. We already know it's got Jeremy Renner.
Yep.
We know that he's supported by like a host of other big name actors.
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Yeah. So Tag is actually based on a true story. Actually,
shut the front door.
Tag is based on a true story. Yeah, and it actually pays it off at the end. At the credits, you see the original people playing tag, and they're like in their 50s, and they're like really old, and they started this when they were in school and so on. There's a priest there as well, and all these different guys. Like you'll see clips of them like going shopping with their wife or whatever, and then one will get tagged. And it's like this game's been going on for 23 years.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's crazy. So. So the film is it's literally as it says on the tin. It's just guys, I think 5 guys. So Jeremy Renner's character, I can't remember the guy's name, but
he's in The Office.
Yeah, a few guys that you've seen around, and so you got Hannibal, the comedian guy, and a few other people. What's his name? The one from I can't remember his name now, but he was in that show with the marketing TV show, and it's like a old school type show. He wears a suit. You know the guy I'm talking about. Tall, dark.
John Hamm.
That's the one, John Hamm. Yeah.
From
that show that I was talking about, the marketing show.
Mad Men.
Mad Men, that's the one. Marketing show.
Ed Helms.
Ed Helms, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, Rashida Jones.
Yes, she's in
Quincy Jones's daughter.
Yes, yeah. So and also Sacha Baron Cohen's missus is in it as well.
She's in it as well. Okay.
Isla Fisher.
Yeah,
she's in it.
Yeah.
So it's a great film. So great cast. They're all funny. but the whole film is about trying to get Jeremy Renner's character. He has never been tagged in all these years. So, you know, the film, they start off young, but I mean, that's not the main part of the film. Literally, it's all about them when they're older.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Renner's character is going to get married, and his wife to be says, okay, so during the wedding, you know, this, you can't bring tag into this. I know you guys are serious. Don't bring tag in. Don't ruin my day. So that day's off guards, and so that day's off the menu. And then so apart from that, they try and tag Jeremy Renner. He's so untaggable. He is literally like Hawkeye in this film. He's untouchable. Yeah. He can do all kinds of moves. I think he's like some sort of fitness instructor. He can jump. He can twist. He can like avoid things. He can throw knives and it just sort of gets your collar. He can do all sorts. So the film, a lot of the film is like the rest of the guys trying to tag him, and he's just he's wicked. But as the film goes on, it goes towards his. I don't know if I don't want to spoil. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. All I'm going to do is tell you a bit about what happens in the story loosely. But yeah, so obviously the wedding happens, and I'm not even going to say it. but during the wedding, yeah, obviously it was meant to be, you know, no tag during the wedding, but hey, they can't help themselves. But yeah, so basically after the wedding, things happen. I'm laughing. You know what I'm laughing at? There's one scene in this film that is my favorite scene, and it's a scene where they try and tag Jeremy Renner's character. This is the only spoiler you're going to get, but it's not going to really spoil the whole film for you. Where they go to a forest, or he leads them into the forest, and he imitates Predator. Yeah, so he imitates Predator. You know how in Predator, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was trying to capture the Predator, he sets these traps. You get the tree log. There's that tree log that comes down and swings. You get that in it.
Yeah.
That gets someone. You get that kind of the net from the ground. When someone steps on a trap, the net gets them. That's in it. And there's these I
can picture it all in my head.
Yeah, he gets these guys to go to the forest and like help him. Like he hires these guys, and even the guys that he gets look like characters from the Predator.
Oh, yeah.
And then the team that go, he's like his friends that try and catch him in the woods, they start mimicking scenes from the Predator. Like, you know, you get there's a guy who's I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. Yeah. You know, like the dark skin guy, the bald guy. Yeah. So Hannibal, who's one of his friends. He starts to like he starts to like imitate that a bit.
I gotta watch it just for that.
It's just mad.
Okay.
It's mad. I think someone even says, "Oh, we're all gonna die," or something. It's like, or someone says, "Get to the chopper." Something happens. It's mad, but
yeah.
That scene there is worth the whole film.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm not going to spoil the end. But yeah, the Jeremy Renner's character, he's hard to tag.
Okay.
But this film is funny from start to finish. It's a funny film.
And seeing Jeremy Renner in a comedic role, does he pull it off?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's...
Because I know the other guys, Ed Helms and Rashida Jones, they've all done kind of comedy before. So I'm just thinking he comes from, like you mentioned, Wind River, which I'm assuming it's not a comedy,
serious,
is it? Yeah, serious film, and he's done
Hurt
these
Locker
big
as well, and all sorts. Yeah.
So he does it. He does it well, right?
Yeah, he does it well. Yeah, but his character, it's like I think the rest of the guys are more the funny ones. He's like
he plays it straight.
Yeah, he's kind of straight and serious with his tagging or not getting tagged.
Yeah.
That he doesn't really need to be the funny guy.
Okay.
Just what he does and how he eludes them. That's funny enough.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm gonna check. I think it's still in the cinemas, right?
It just came out last week.
Yeah, it did. So it's number 4. Okay, so I'm gonna try and watch that one. Brilliant. And it's not open for a tag 2, is it?
I don't know.
Because I'm always wary. Like, you know, nowadays.
I don't think so. I
think a lot of kind of the bigwigs, the executives, they want franchises.
They want a trilogy at least, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if they could get a tag 2 out of it, maybe, who knows if it does really well. I don't know. We'll see what it fares like in next week's box office top 10. Okay, so moving on, a film that I have seen, and obviously Deval, you've seen this as well, a film that we we want to talk about now is Sicario 2 Soldado.
Yes, Sicario 1 was heavy.
You know what? I just got to say one thing. I absolutely love Sicario. Emily Blunt is not just Emily Blunt, but the main three players in that film.
Yeah.
So we've got Benicio del Toro, we've got Josh Brolin, Emily Blunt. You had in the first one, you had
a guy from Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out.
From Get Out and Avengers.
Yep, and Black Panther. He was in it.
But also, you also had the Punisher in it as well.
Yes, he was in it. Oh my, damn.
Yeah, this guy he's brilliant. He's really good.
Yeah. He could be in Halo.
As well.
So let's go back there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So let's just go back a step, if you don't mind. So 2015, Sicario came out. It was written by Taylor Sheridan or Sheridan Taylor.
One of them.
It's one of those. And directed by Denis Villeneuve. Is it
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, the French-Canadian.
French-Canadian director.
Yeah. He also done Blade Runner 2046.
49.
2049.
But also, he did another sci-fi classic.
Arrival. That film there, for me, is one of the greatest sci-fi films. I think it would top 10 for me.
It's so brilliant. So when I saw this, Denis, Sicario, 2049 and Arrival. He's already made 3 classic films.
Heavy.
Yeah, he's already made 3 classic films, right? Okay. So Sicario it's like a saga, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the way that I think they are taking this film is into making not kind of a trilogy, but like a saga. They want to show different kind of perspectives. And I really, really, really liked Sicario. Great performances from Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin. And here we have 3 years later, Sicario Part 2, Soldado. I want to speak to you about the title of the film, Soldado, Soldier.
Soldier. Ooh.
So the film, it takes off, it starts off in Mexico. They've shifted over to kind of, you know what, there's no money in the drugs anymore. It's more about shifting people. So the film starts off in Mexico, where the camera and we follow a helicopter following or looking for people crossing over from the Mexican border into the US.
Yeah. And,
it started off interesting. The camera angles I thought was really good. It's set at night and I thought, this is edgy, this is dark, this is kind of exciting, what we're going to see over here. And there was a twist, which I wasn't expecting. And I think I can mention this because they mentioned this in the trailer. Amongst all these people trying to cross from the Mexican border into the US is a terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention what happens to the terrorist. Suffice it to say, some bad shit happens. And then Josh Brolin, Matt Garver, I think his name is, he gets involved.
Yeah.
He wants to find out how the terrorists are moving in from Mexico into the US.
Yeah, yeah.
So, directed by an Italian filmmaker who is famous for working on an Italian TV show called Gomorrah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That comes on Sky Atlantic, yeah.
I think his name is Stefano Soliano. Written by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Sicario. Stars Josh Brolin, Benicio del Toro, and controversially or interestingly, without Emily Blunt. So, we don't focus on her character anymore, but we do focus on the 2 people from the first part. So Matt Garver, he gets involved and he wants to find out why the terrorists are coming into the US via Mexico.
Yeah.
So this opens up a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
And this whole kind of this idea of, right, we've got to stop this, we've got to try and put a stop on the terrorists from coming in, but also we got to create a problem for the cartels because the cartels are the ones who are bringing them over.
Yeah.
So what I thought was, it's got some really, really, really interesting themes going on in the film, and especially current themes. So, like at the moment, Donald Trump in America, he is got this thing up his ass about separating families. If you've come over illegally, taking the parents away. And in this movie, there is a storyline, there's a plot line about a Mexican is separated from her family.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, so Taylor Sheridan, he's written a really political film.
Yes.
And this goes back to Wind River.
Yeah.
You said about the whole Native American, the experience. I think in a lot of the work that he does, he weaves in the political scenarios. So there's immigration, there's terrorism, there's the separation of families, there's this whole divide of, the border. What's on that side should stay on that side, and what's on our side we need to protect.
Yeah.
In terms of a general overall plot, I thought there were some plot holes, but on the whole, I thought this was a cracking film.
Okay.
Not as good as...
I was just going to say, do you think it was better than the first one?
Not as good as the first one,
Okay.
because that was so raw. Like, I kind of really felt for Emily Blunt's character, where she didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
She was taken for a ride,
Yeah.
and she was in a man's world. And a lot of those themes are carried over into this film. So I would say there's a few plot holes, but on the whole, I would say it's still a cracking film. And I've got to say one thing to you, Deval. I've read some of the reviews online, and a lot of these film reviewers, they're so sniffy, really
What do you
sniffy.
mean? Sniffy as in like this...
1-star reviews, 2-star reviews.
Oh, okay.
And I personally think they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the idea behind what they were trying to say.
Okay.
So for me, when I saw it, I thought to myself, okay, the director wants to show, or the writer wants to show that, look, we do have this border with Mexico. And instead of showing them to be kind of, the problem, make them become part of the solution.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reviews that I read were like, okay, it wasn't really necessary. They should have just left Sicario as it was. But personally, I wanted to find out what happens to Benicio del Toro. I wanted to find out what happens to Josh Brolin. How those two characters who are so entrenched in kind of the war on drugs, how are they going to solve some of the issues? And there's a really brilliant line in the film where Josh Brolin is pissed off about something, and he's like, well, and he's talking to one of his seniors, played by Catherine Keener, and who was in Get Out, and he's like, well, look, how are you supposed to change if we're going to kind of like, if you're not going to do anything? And Catherine Keener turns around and says, you know what? You've been in the game too long if you think that we're going to change anything. And I just thought that was just so telling. So you got these characters, they've been doing it for a really long time, and their game is that if you want to get results, you need to get your hands dirty.
Yeah. And that's what he's there for, isn't it? I think when I guess when shit hits the fan and when things have to happen off the books, you need to get your hands dirty. He's the guy that takes his team into getting things done, getting your hands dirty. But it's almost as if like the US government, oh no, this ain't us. This isn't us. This is some offshoot mercenary team, nothing to do with us. So it's mad. But yeah, I think his whole. You're right, man. I did like the film.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of things that happened that I don't know. I kind of felt even one technical thing that I noticed.
Okay, tell me. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but there was a scene where the young Mexican boy, the teenager, was chatting to the guy that's like in the gangs or whatever, and they were sitting by the river, I think, and the guy had his sunglasses on his head, and I could see the crew in his sunglasses.
Really?
I could see in his sunglasses. I could see like people. Yeah, and I just saw it.
You know what? That would piss me off.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, is that, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. If someone can say, no, it wasn't people, it was trees or something.
Yeah,
I was shut up and I'll say sorry.
Yeah.
But I swear I could see people in the sunglasses.
Okay.
And I was like, is that really happening? Is that... It just sort of took me out of it a little bit. But apart from that, I don't know. Yeah, I did like Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like, I don't know. I kind of feel like he's such a gangster. He's such a gangster. Exactly. I don't think that the situation in this film was even on his level. No, he's on some next level. They should bring him out when like they really need him. But I don't know, it's like
what I just thought was he doesn't speak much, does he?
No.
He doesn't have much much dialogue in the film, but he says a lot with his face. Yeah. And Benicio del Toro, he's one of those actors where his emotions, you can see what he's possibly thinking. Yeah. So he says very little but shows a lot. Yeah. And for anyone who hasn't seen the first one, I'll just give you a bit of a backstory. His family was murdered by the cartels. Yeah. So even in Sicario 1, you don't see that. It's alluded to. So he's carrying the weight of that on his shoulders, and that's why he's in this game.
Yeah.
Because he basically wants revenge.
Exactly. There's space for a prequel there, you know.
That would be something.
A prequel there, you know.
Yeah. What was he doing beforehand? Benicio del Toro. Yeah, that's actually a good one. So he's got this kind of thing, and you can see that Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin, they have a close relationship.
Yeah.
So Josh Brolin, he flies out to Colombia. He's in Bogota. Benicio del Toro is in Bogota, and they have this kind of like this meeting together. And Josh Brolin's like, "Listen, get ready.
Yeah.
We need you. We need you to do something. You need to get your hands dirty because we're going to be killing.
Yeah.
We're basically going to be starting a war."
Yeah.
So they shift out to Mexico. There's a whole kind of thing where, you know, Benicio del Toro does something to instigate something, and then we see the story unfold even more.
Yeah.
And for me, that wasn't the most important thing. You know, the kind of the instigating, you know, the reason why they're there. I was more interested in kind of the relationship, like, you know, what he's, you know, how his character develops. And I got to say, in this movie, he's basically in charge of a little girl, right?
Yeah.
Who he needs to get over to the US because she's a really, really important person. And I kind of felt whilst watching this movie, he started to care for this girl in some sort of way because his child was murdered.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, you see this relationship build. He doesn't say it explicitly.
Yeah.
And there's a part of him which doesn't really probably want to admit it. But you could see there was some sort of connection there, which I thought was really interesting. There's a scene where the two of them, they're in Mexico, out in the middle of nowhere, and they come across a deaf person. I got to say to Deval, you know what? I absolutely loved that scene.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was so heartfelt.
Yeah.
And we had just moments before that, we'd seen this kind of like shootout.
Yeah.
Loads of action, loads of guns firing. It was quite full on. And then for it just to then meander into this one scene where Benicio del Toro is communicating with a deaf person in sign language, I thought was fucking brilliant. I loved it. I really, really loved that. It really touched me.
Yeah.
So it's got these moments in there which are like, oh wow, this is deep. A second thing that I just want to quickly mention is the relationship between Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. These people, they have history. They've been in this game for a long time. There's a scene where Josh Brolin has to cut Benicio del Toro loose.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, you can't do this. You can't do this to my man. You cannot do this to my man. But what was Benicio del Toro's response? He was like, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because he understood it.
Yeah. But there's one thing, he's telling him that, but he's also saying, but you know me, yeah? You know what's going to happen when you come to me, yeah? You do what you got to do, but you step to me, boy. Yeah?
Something's going to happen. Okay, so Sicario, who is the now, it's called Soldado, soldier.
Yeah.
Out of all those characters, who is the soldier? It could be Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
He's a soldier for his government. It could be Benicio del Toro, who's a soldier as well too. He's almost like a slave to his own like revenge.
Yeah.
It could be the young gangbanger, the Mexican guy that we meet.
Yeah.
He could be the new soldier. So it's got all these kind of like different layers.
Exactly. And I think they are soldiers in their own respects at different points in their careers. I think once everyone watches the film, they'll see what we're talking about. But a soldier doesn't always carry a gun. You know, a soldier, the purpose of a soldier is the piece of a greater war.
To serve.
Exactly, to serve. So, you know, you can see it how you want to see it. You know?
Yeah. A lot of people criticize the movie because they don't show, obviously, Mexican people in a good light because all the Mexicans that you see, well, the majority of the Mexicans that you see, they're basically they're drug pushers. They kidnap people.
Yeah.
They
illegal immigrants. Yeah.
So which I kind of get, but I think there is kind of like a bit of a balance where you see Mexican people, but they are strong. Like the girl in the movie, she's a strong female character.
Yeah.
Although she's young, she's strong. She sees all this kind of violence and she sees all this stuff going on around her. But she doesn't cower. She's like, okay, I'm going to make decisions on my own type of thing. So obviously human trafficking is abhorrent. It's absolutely like, one of the most disgusting things. But we have to face up to the fact that it's reality.
Exactly.
It happens like all over the place.
Yeah.
But we need to look at why this is happening. What is going on in Mexico, where the cartels they run things over there.
Yeah. It's
So
social economic differences and social economic challenges that people face, I think, in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And if one country is deemed to be more attractive in that you can get a job and have a living, raise your family, send money home and so on, then people will look to go to that place by any means and look after their family. People don't want to go just for the sake of it. You know, they want to go because they have to. And I think that's the bottom line, really.
Yeah. I think like people are desperate and they'll do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, as a movie, I think it does work because the characters are developed. We learn about, what happens to Benicio del Toro's, his character, Josh Brolin, how he's kind of, conflicted in certain ways. And also we see, a new member, a new soldier of the cartel.
Yeah.
And how kind
I can probably, Benicio probably sees himself in the young boy, or he's seeing that he could be, that someone could take over his role. Because he's going to get old, isn't it? Someone needs to take over.
Exactly.
But when the guys see like the relationship we're talking about and seeing where that comes from and how it looks to end, it's quite surprising.
It is quite surprising. So, and the other kind of thing that I would say is the music, the score.
Yeah.
It's like this deep, haunting, droning music.
Yeah. It carries over from Arrival, from Sicario 1, even Blade Runner. It's all quite similar.
And it just, the tension is just getting built up. So I thought that was really great. The cinematography, I think, is absolutely fantastic. The cinematographer on this film was, I think his name is Dariush, I think his name is. And he's been the cinematographer on a lot of my favorite films. Sicario, even the first one. He's on Pirates of the Caribbean. He's like, he's really, really talented. And I thought the look of the film is great as well. Like, Mexico looks bleak. It just looks barren. Yeah. There's kind of not a lot going on. A lot of the film is shot in the evening, and it's just kind of, it's not a kind of happy place, is it?
Yeah,
like when you see Mexico. Like when I saw Mexico, I was like, shit, this is like, it's not a place where it's like where I'm dying to go and see Mexico City. I'm not dying to go there. Like when you look at it in the film, but the way it's been filmed, it's been filmed in realism.
Exactly.
So that does make me want to go see it. Make me want to go and visit.
I'd rather go to Cancun though. I ain't going to the Mexico City, and then only Sicario shootouts happening.
Oh man, and some of that shit, like that we see, it is commonplace. It does happen.
That's what I hear. Yeah,
things like they cut people's heads off
and hang them on bridges and stuff.
Bridges,
Nah, mate.
Exactly. So that stuff does happen, and the whole fights between the cartels. That's an everyday occurrence. So some like I said, put aside some of the plot holes. The terrorism part of it, which I wasn't entirely convinced about. Put that aside. I still think it's a cracking film. Great cinematography, great directing, great acting. You get to learn more about these characters, and you see some new strong characters. So I think if I think it's definitely worth watching, and you got to watch it if you've seen Sicario, the first one.
You got to.
And like I said before, when I was reading up on this, they are developing a third part as well.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
So I think they probably want to make have a conclusion to this. And like I said before, it's kind of it's like a saga, isn't it?
Yeah, a nice little trilogy.
Exactly.
Up. So how many bullets would you give it?
I swear to God, I was going to say exactly the same thing. I shit you not. I swear to God.
How many bullets?
You know what? I would probably give this. So Sicario 1, I would give that 8.5. Almost bordering 9 bullets.
I'd say.
This is going to be a bit less than that. So this is probably about 7. I'll probably say about 7.5 bullets.
Siete.
Muy bien, Duval. So 7 balas for me. So 7.5 bullets.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good film. It's definitely
I'll
worth
give it
watching.
7. I'll give it 7 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good film, good, but not better than the first.
No, I don't think. No, the first one's classic.
Exactly.
Okay, so those are our film reviews for this week. I thought we could now move on to hidden gems, and there are 2 films which are similar in kind of, in their theme, and I thought I'd keep it in line with the whole footy, what's going on in England right now, because everyone is just celebrating, everyone's really, really happy.
Yep.
So the first film that I want to mention is a film called Looking for Eric, which is a 2009 Anglo-French production directed by Ken Loach.
Okay.
So Looking for Eric is an independent film, low budget, and I think it went under the radar. Even in this country, it went under the radar. It premiered at like Cannes Film Festival or something like that. And if you have a look online, it's not kind of considered as one of Ken Loach's like best films.
Okay.
But it's a Ken Loach film which is like lighter. So it's one of his lightest films. It's got elements of comedy in there. Looking for Eric is a story about a man who's struggling with possibly depression. Okay, so with mental issues. He's struggling with looking after his family, his stepchildren. He's divorced twice. His kids are getting into gangs and possibly selling drugs. He's a postman who's not really kind of happy in his life. But the one thing that does bring him joy is the beautiful game. Is football. And he's a big Manchester United fan. So the story progresses and he finds weed that his son is he going to sell? Is he going to become a seller? Is he going to become a drug dealer? We don't know yet. And he finds this weed, and one day one of his friends says, "Hey, look, you know what? Just chill out, relax. Why don't you just smoke the weed?" And he smokes the weed, and after he smokes the weed, he has this kind of like out of body experience where he starts having conversations with Manchester United, a legend in this country, Eric Cantona.
Oh, is that what happens?
It is just like absolutely amazing. And when you see Eric Cantona in this movie, so Eric Cantona is like, for people who don't know, he's a legend at Manchester United, and he's one of these characters in the Premier League in football where he just lights up the screen. Whatever he says, you listen to it. Not everything he says makes sense, but he was so good on the pitch, and the things that he did on the pitch, he's like he's just like kind of like, even for me as an Arsenal fan, like whenever I used to see some of the goals, when I saw some of the goals that he scored, I was just like, wow, this guy's great. A bit of a temper and everything, but he's good. So he pops up in this film, and he plays Eric's. So Eric Cantona plays Eric, the dad.
Yeah.
He's almost like
they're both called Eric.
They're both called Eric.
Oh, okay.
And the film's called Looking for Eric. So it could be you could
Eric?
even say he's actually looking for himself.
Yeah.
He's looking for answers for himself. But those answers or that mental confusion manifests itself in Eric Cantona. So Eric has problems with his daughter, with his sons, with his job, and generally on his life. He doesn't know what's going on. So Eric Cantona is there to kind of guide him, help him, give him advice, tell him to do this and tell him to do that. So where everything is so confused in his real life, the one place where he does find joy and kind of like beauty is in the football. And the film there's 4 or 5 scenes where he has conversation with Eric Cantona, and there's one memorable scene where he's a postman, he's delivering post, and he says to Eric Cantona pops up, and Eric says to Eric Cantona, so Eric, tell us about the one goal. Like, what was the one goal that that you remember the most, that kind of made you aware of how great you were? And Eric Cantona, he goes on. He starts talking about he says it wasn't a goal, it was a pass. And they show that pass in the film. I just thought it was brilliant. I just thought, with the World Cup going on, with England doing so well, I just thought I want to mention this film because it's not a film about football, but it has football in it. Yeah. But it's about a man's struggle to deal with the issues that he's got. And the way that he helps himself is to kind of manifest Eric Cantona. So if you haven't seen this film, hopefully I've done it justice by kind of like telling you exactly what it's like. But it's really interesting. It's a low budget film, directed by Ken Loach. It's got some really great moments in there, and you've got to see Eric Cantona. You know, him on screen, I think is always good. The second film that I want to mention is another football related film out in 2009, but this time it's based on a real life person, Brian Clough. And this film is called The Damn United. So this film follows a football manager here in England, who was a football manager here in England, and the 44 days that he was in charge of Leeds United.
44 days, that's it.
44
wasn't
days.
Brian Clough Nottingham Forest? Didn't he win Champions League twice or something? Or the European Cup?
After his stint at Leeds, because he basically got sacked, he left after those 44 days.
Yeah.
He went on to Nottingham Forest.
Oh, he went there afterwards? Okay.
And then he basically just went to win the European Cup, and he took Nottingham Forest to like glory days, basically. But this film it obviously has football in it, but it's not about football. It's a character kind of study about how, you know, one person who thinks he knows it all, who thinks that he can bring out the best in people. And I just thought it was a cracking piece of filmmaking and brilliant acting by Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen, you may remember him from Underworld.
Isn't he with Kate Beckinsale?
Kate Beckinsale.
Man.
How do you do that?
Man.
Like, I know. So, you know, and he doesn't look like Brian Clough, but it's the mannerisms.
Okay.
He brings the mannerisms to the role, and I thought he was brilliant. So you see the story, you know, Don Revie, who was the manager of Leeds United, he gets the England job. He goes off. Brian Clough comes in, and he starts bringing his kind of way of managing people, managing teams, the way he wants to play football, and the team, they just basically hate him. They're like, who's this guy? Who's this, like, basically this wanker just coming in, you know, taking over, telling us to do this. Under Don Revie, we were winning games. So he loses the team.
He loses the dressing room.
He loses the dressing room. Timothy Spall.
Yeah.
Plays his assistant coach. Yeah. So this film is about his relationship with his assistant coach as well. So I just think, you know, I've mentioned this before.
I can see Timothy Spall as well in like a football-y, coachy kind of role. He kind of looks the part. Exactly.
So this film is about kind of a relationship, you know, that you have with other people around you, and about how you get people on your side.
Yeah.
So I think it is a cracking film, and if you love your football films, you're going to love it as well. But also, if you're not a fan of football, go out and watch this, because
I need to watch them. I haven't seen them. I think I need to watch both, but I like the selection as well, because they're both made in the same year. Like, I don't know what happened in that time. I can't remember. I know there wasn't any football tournaments in that year.
2006 was the World Cup.
2008 would have been the Euros, and then 2010 would have been the World Cup again.
Yeah.
No, 2012. Sorry, or I'm getting it wrong. Basically, there was nothing in that year. In that year, so I don't know where it came from, but two legendary type.
Deval, you know your football. You know your your stuff. So they're not like purely football films, but there is football around it, and they both speak about the beautiful game, and they're both kind of, you know, the game influences what happens in the film.
Football is born from characters and dreams and interactions, and that's where football comes from. It's just the football that we get is the end of that journey.
Totally.
You know, about Brian Clough's relationship with his team, his assistant manager. I mean, all those. I mean, that's what we don't see, because they don't talk about that in football interviews, but this is where it comes from. Right?
And you
that
just
is the
hit
magic.
the nail on the head there. This is what we see. We see the struggle, the kind of the pain that a manager goes through. So definitely go out and watch that one.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. But yeah, that's good selection you got there, man.
Yeah.
Good selection.
So I think, hidden gems.
Yeah, nice. I did have a couple, but I think just because it's the World Cup and just because your selection was so good, I think I'll save mine for next week. Okay. I don't want to taint. I don't want to change or anything. What you said is perfect. Football focused, great films. I need to watch. I got my homework cut out for me for next week.
Yeah.
And then, cool. Nice
Brilliant.
one. Nice one.
So I think that's it for the show.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's a good show. It's been very hot in the studio home, guys. I hope you can bear with us. It's like almost 35 degrees in the studio home today.
The microphone has got sweat on it.
It has,
just like,
you know, we're sweating our bollocks off, both of us.
Believe you me, I'm gonna need one of your towels to just what Daffy Duck does when he puts the towel between his legs to clean. Right, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks.
Sorry.
Oh shit!
I was getting the image of you going like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for downloading today's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please get in touch with us via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email us at theflixters@gmail.com. Drop us a line.
Or just stand on a mountain or rooftop and shout.
Exactly.
We will hear you.
We will hear you.
Thundercats when they go, Thundercats, ho. Just go, Flixters, ho. And we will come running like Chitara and the Wily Kit and Wily Cat.
Chitara.
Are they going to make a film about that? Do you know what? News. I'm going to get some news for next week.
Wasn't there something about this?
There was something about it. I'm telling you,
I'm sure our friend Marcel, if you're listening, I'm sure you mentioned this.
Yeah, it's got to be happening.
Like something about Thundercats. I'm sure there was something out there. But yes, so and also as a little treat to our listeners.
Yes, a little treat. So guys, please subscribe. And so the little caveat is you've got to be a subscriber.
Yeah.
And also post a comment, tell us what film you want us to review. Just say anything, just reach out to us and we will send you a code for you to go to the cinema and watch a film of your choice. Which cinema? A View Cinema or a Cineworld Cinema. Lots of options there, guys. So
all over the country.
What more do you want?
Exactly. So put us out of our misery.
Yeah.
Just do it. Deval, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Been a great show.
It's been a fantastic show, and I will see you soon.
See you next time. Peace out.